We're telling you this. Bigging up the one vinyl junkie, live and direct on Eruption Radio. Second and third Thursday of every month. A big bad junglist, you know, and a whole mix of styles. Yeah, you know you have to keep it locked in on this. Watch out.
Morning, Eruption crew. How's it going? Big up to the man like Johnny B. Nice one, brother. Out to the Terry George for the last 3 hours. Wicked, wicked. Out to the Mr. V. So this tune, yeah, Gen 77, of course, Never Felt This Way. Main man Luke, DJ producer, on remix duties on this one. Forthcoming on Where Ice Wax vinyl business. Keep your eyes peeled for that, yeah? So yeah, got a little guest mix for you today. Artist called RadioKillaZ. And a little interview as well. Big up all the crew locked. Going out to the Maccas. So I thought I'd play a little bit of hardcore for you to start with this morning. All new music, some wicked new hardcore about. This tune, yeah, by an artist called Z-NEO. Tune's called Dope Enough. This is taken from an album called True School, which is forthcoming on Rave Radio. I tell you what, it's a wicked album.
Alright.
Not just saying that because Sammy's been mating all that. It's truly sick. I think there's only one tune on there that I wasn't really feeling. And that's unusual for an album. For me anyway. This is pre-selling on vinyl at the moment. I'm going to play another one from this album in a minute and then I'll give you the details of how you can grab this on vinyl now. Big up all the Rave Radio crew.
Sounds like
God, what a tune. Sounds of the Diplomat and BEAGLE. Amen, brother business. Big up the man like Brent.
Get to your knees, baby, praise
formatting into this. Sounds of Z-NEO again off that True School album I was telling you about. This tune's called Never Been to Berlin.
To your knees, baby, praise the king.
So this tune, this is EQ. Tune called OUT-A-ERT. OUT-A-ERT. See if you can guess what the sample is, yeah? Big up again today, man. Brother crew out to Brent. Another vinyl release. Yeah, so I told you I was going to tell you about the Z-NEO album. Vinyl release, yeah? You can pre-order it now. And I tell you, you need to get it. If you're a vinyl collector, you collect old school, new hardcore, all that stuff, you need this album in your life, trust me. So go to raveradiorecords.com, yeah? You'll see it there, Z-NEO, True School. Big up Sammy and all the Rave Radio family.
Say
Yeah, so 2 in a row from the EQ. This one's called Hear Me Now. So you can get this on vinyl as well. Check out the Vinyl Fanatics website. I think it's vinylfanatics.co.uk. Pretty sure it is. Just search it on Google. You can get this one and the Diplomat one I played earlier, Diplomat and BEAGLE. Both there for sale on the shop. And I'll probably get some in the shop at some point, hopefully. Don't forget to check out the shop, www.vinyljunkie.uk, for all the vinylists. You're on Vinyl Junkie UK. Click on the podcast link, yeah? All my shows are there. All fully track listed. So if you ever miss a show or you want to listen back, that's where you gotta go, right? Or you can also go to the Eruption Mixcloud, listen to the show, play it back. You won't get a track list there though. What kind of world are we living in right now? Now there's a question. Yeah, you should know this one, bit of an older one this. Was repressed on vinyl though, recently. Sounds of the Double Vision, What Kind of World, Lifting Spirits crew. Big out a man like Bill Vega.
Jungle bass massive. Right about now, vinyl jungle. If you take it away, road wide. Run the rhythm track.
Sounds of the Tim Reaper. Tune called Slugs Penetrate. Time for a bit of jungle. Jungle techno vibes, 4/4 in the place. Love this tune. It's been around a little while, this one. I got it on vinyl about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. Sold out quick time. Only just managed to get a digital copy. You're in tune to the Vinyl Junkie. This is Eruption Radio. Keep it locked, yeah? We got a guest mix in a bit.
When the slugs penetrate.
Jungle vibes incoming from the RadioKillaZ. Little interview as well. Keep it locked, yeah? shout out to the Paul LH. Easy bro, how you doing? Don't forget, catch me here. Same time, 10 till 12. Second and third Thursdays of every month. This tune, sounds of Denham Audio and Manifesto. Little tune called So Good. Big shout out to the Irish hardcore jungle rebels. All the Irish DAB crew locked on, locked in. Don't touch that dial. Out to the Vinny Von Visa. What are you doing, writing an essay? I've been typing and messaging WhatsApp for about the last half hour. I'm not going to have time to read that, mate. I'm doing a show, innit? Up, ready to go on the other deck. Tim Reaper, tune called Deep Within. Hold tight. Out to the man they call Marcus, Frequency, Tandem. Yeah, you know who you are. Yeah, next tune I'm going to dedicate to my lovely other half, the Rachel EC. She's not listening, but she'll be listening back later. And make her listen to it. You will listen to my show. Deep within, Tim Reaper, keep it locked. You're in tune to the Vinyl Junkie, don't forget that.
The spirit that possesses the entity beyond all self-existence. This is the missing channel.
Sending this one out to the Elliot Gower. Out to James and Cherry up in Bath. Out to the man like Phil Keynes, Warehouse Crew. Steve Bucklando. Easy bro. Dursley Crew. Out to Shaz the Exmoor Junglist. Out to the man like Clockers, easy brother. Don't forget, if you want to shout out, the number's 07853 456 869. If you go to the Eruption website, you can find out how to join the Eruption family chat on WhatsApp. I think you've just got to scan a QR code. To the DJ Hybrid. Tune called After Party Anthem. Sending this one out to Stephen Randall and all the Over 70s Cycling Club. Big up, guys.
one properties there, nine eye blood when I go down to the field. Stand the dog crazy, shall it declare that I shoot him no jaw.
Keep peddling, guys, keep peddling. Out to the man like Ben Logan. Out to Titch. Man like DJ Perks. Man like DJ Luge. All the L-Dub crew. Out to the man like Jason Turley. Out to Kiana, Emily and Molly May. That's coming from Daddy Vince.
Champion sound of the world, really and truly care the most girl. Special request to all like party.
Sending this one out to the abs. Yeah, mate, yeah, we're all live. Always live. I know I did a pre-record last month, but that was just a one-off. Because I had some organised that I couldn't change from before. I changed my showtime, okay? So yeah, 3 in a row for Marcus Visionary. First one was To the Foundation. And then we had Mr. Officer. This tune's called Step. Big up Marcus Visionary. Canadian, Jungle is massive. Can't get me words out today. Big shout out to Rory Lyon and all the Longleat crew.
Yo, it's Thriller. You're locked into Vinyl Junkie, the big bad eruption.
Okay, this tune, you know this tune. Sub Focus, Last Jungle. New mixes, little 10-inch vinyl, out on Future Retro. Played the Coco Bryce mix last week. This is the Tim Reaper mix. Banger, trust me. Sending this one out to Helen and baby RJ. Okay, so after this tune, we got a little interview. Tony Vibe for the RadioKillaZ. And then we got a guest mix from the man himself. Jungle Business. All his own tunes as well.
Hey yo, bad boy, wanna listen for this? This is not the Campbell telling you so. Picking up the one vinyl junkie, a real original junglist bad boy, live and direct on Eruption Radio. The original sound of the underground. Big bad selector. Right.
So, quick history lesson just for a bit of context, yeah? Back in around 2011, there was a thing that my label Warehouse Wax played a pretty big part in. Some people were calling it 140 Jungle. Some people called it Future Jungle. Others called it Jungle Breaks. So it was kind of jungly vibes at 140 BPM with some elements of dubstep and new school breaks thrown into the mix, yeah? And back then there was an artist called RadioKillaZ knocking about, who released on Warehouse Wax as well as many other labels. And now RadioKillaZ were probably one of the most prolific of all the artists doing that style back then. They used to fire the tunes out at a rate of knots, and listening to some of those tunes now, I've got to say that those guys were definitely well ahead of their time. Used to be two of them. One of the guys left. Now it's just Tony, who's a good old mate of mine. He's recently re-emerged with some new releases, including one on Warehouse Wax. He's upped the tempo a little bit, and now he's rolling at 160, which is brilliant for this show because that's how we roll, right? He's going to be dropping a little guest mix in a little while, but I thought we'd have a little chat with him first and see what's going on. So, Easy Tone, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, alright, John, it's going alright, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me up here on your radio show. Really looking forward to doing this interview.
Cool, man. So, let's start right at the beginning, Tone. Tell me, what is your first ever musical memory?
I would say, going back a long time, one of the things that sort of sticks in my mind was for Christmas one year, someone brought me a Walkman, and with that Walkman I got a copy of, now that's what I call Music 3, and on that album was a track called White Lines by an artist called Grandmaster Melly Mel. Now I remember that track was like, when it first came out, it was massive. So that track right there was one of my major influences. I also remember going to it was Al Price Records at the time with a friend of mine, and this was sort of when the Electros were out, and Electro 7 was one of the sort of the first kind of ones that I brought. And I would also say I used to listen to a guy called Mike Allen on Capital Radio in the mid-80s. He used to do the Electro show. He was a massive influence because he was playing all this new music. Obviously I was a kid, never heard all this sort of stuff before, and I'd say that's sort of the sound what helped shape my life in a massive way. Also as well, I recall there was a documentary as well shown on Channel 4 called Style Wars, which was about New York graffiti rap subculture, and I remember watching that when Channel 4 aired it. I used to do graffiti when I was a kid as well, so and a bit of breaking, so I kind of come from a electro hip hop graffiti background. But White Lines and this Walkman was definitely one of my earliest memories that I recall. I used to have it on repeat, so yeah, that was definitely one of the first things that I remember when it comes to music.
So you were a b-boy then, yeah? That's cool. So RadioKillaZ, how did that come about, and what was the thinking behind the name RadioKillaZ?
Right, so RadioKillaZ, there's actually a story behind this. There's a couple of stories actually. So initially my background is pirate radio. I've been involved with pirates since I was involved with pirates since the 90s. I used to do quite a lot of stuff in the 90s and the 2000s. I got arrested for it 3 times, so basically that kind of put a stop to my radio career. But that spanned, I was involved with radio for a good 10-15 years. I was involved with a couple of South London stations. So the first one I was sort of involved with was called Scandal FM, and that used to come from Kingston. That kind of got me into setting up stations, so I used to go up on the rooftops and put up aerials and things like that. So Scandal FM, and then I was part of another station called Flight FM, so I was part of the management team on that. So I used to help set up with them guys. They were great times. So basically I also played a lot of other stations as well, so I had a big pirate radio background. The first station I played on was called Chilling FM in, I think it was like 93 or something, when like the Slammer and all them sort of tracks were out. But that was my first station that I played on, and I've always been involved with, I was always involved with pirate radio stations, sort of mid-90s through the 2000s. So kind of that's RadioKillaZ. So what I've done for the logo is our logo or my logo is a skull, and pirate radio, the logo was always synonymous of a skull. So RadioKillaZ come from a mixture of my pirate radio background and I used to work with a guy called Skin, and also as well we'd done a track. I'll give Skin credit, he made the track and it was called RadioKillaZ, and it actually got noticed by Universal Music. So a guy called Matt Jagger used to run a subsidiary of Universal called Apollo Records, and we went up to Universal in West London one day, and it was me and Skin. We went up there to meet Matt, and we're sitting in there having a meeting with him, and we're talking about it, and he said to us, "So what do you call yourself?" And at the time I was DJing under the name Tony Vibe, and Skin was Skin Lazy, and he said, "You can't call yourself Tony Vibe and Skin Lazy because it sounds a bit luck and neaty." And I'll never forget that, is the way he said it. And so we're sitting there, and we had this track, it was called RadioKillaZ, and what it was it had sampled Buggles of Video Killed the Radio Stars, an electro track. It was when electro house was kind of big in the mid 2000s. It was like 2006 at the time, I think it was. So anyway, I said, well, why don't we call ourselves RadioKillaZ? You know, my background was pirate radio. We got this track called RadioKillaZ. So when we sort of first got together, we started doing stuff, and we'd done this article, how to get it was in some magazine which was doing this stuff with Universal, how to get a pirate radio show. We sort of played on the pirate radio thing. So yeah, so RadioKillaZ is born out of pirate radio, yeah. So that's where the logo sort of comes from.
So you played a pretty big part in the 140 jungle kind of thing that happened in 2011 to 2014 kind of times, yeah? I just was wondering what you think looking back on that now, and what lasting impact do you think it had?
So the 140 jungle stuff that we was involved in, I got to big you up for that actually, John, because you kind of got me on board, put me onto that, because before that I was using breaks and I was doing bass line, I was doing like bass music, so I was mixing up 4/4 stuff. I was using like break beats and like wobble bass lines, funky drums, and I was doing all that kind of stuff. But you said about this 140 stuff, and so I took a listen to it, and being I'm from, you know, sort of from the jungle era of the 90s, and I've always liked breaks and that, you know, from hip hop and everything else. And you played me some of that 140 stuff, and I thought, yeah, I'm really digging this sound. So I had a crack at it, and I sort of took to it, and I was pretty good at it actually. And RadioKillaZ was pretty good at it. So we started getting, you know, a little bit of notice from various people. So the 140 sound was really good to us because it got me, ultimately got me a Radio 1 mix through Annie Nightingale. So I was getting a lot of Radio 1 support from Annie Nightingale. It was like Kutsky was on there, you know, he played our tracks. There was another guy, Chucky, who was quite big at the time, who was like a Dutch kind of DJ, plays more sort of, we weren't playing breaks, but we'd done this track called, oh God, I can't even remember what the track's called now. We'd done New Future, so it was called New Future, and it done pretty cool actually, so that got quite a bit of Radio 1 play off a few DJs. So yeah, the 140 stuff sort of got us gigs. I'd done a few bits around Europe and that as well, so I went to Belgium, went to Italy, went to France. So yeah, there was a really good time for us, and I really loved that music because it was, you know, it was a good thing to you know, be using break beats and making kind of really old school sounding music. Just unfortunately the legs kind of fell off it a little bit. It didn't quite have that kind of reach, so it sort of died a death, and it's a shame really because I was enjoying that period. It was really good sound and I really enjoyed that. I'd also say that its lasting impact was, I'm kind of still taking bits of that now. I mean, it's you know, it's pretty much similar to what I do now actually. You know, I'm into all this 160 stuff, and you know, it's just essentially just faster, and my production's come on since back then as well. So, and I'm enjoying making music again. So yeah, the 140 stuff had a real good impact on me personally, my music, and being, you know, getting RadioKillaZ out there and the name getting sort of noticed more, which was really good.
And during these times you also played at Glastonbury Festival, didn't you? How was that?
Okay, yeah, so during those times as well I was lucky enough to play at the Temple at Glastonbury Festival. That was absolutely immense, and I once again I got to big you up, John. You know, you got me in on that one as well, so that was really cool. It was one of the best things I've done in a long time to obviously play at an event such as Glastonbury, you know, Meet Yourself, you know, I met like 601, and obviously, you know, Michael Eavis come up to the stage as well, which was really great. So to meet Michael, because apparently all the years they had been doing it, he'd never been up there before, and he really liked the Common. So yeah, so to be involved with that and go there and have such a great time, meet you all, you know, and play that night, you know, and just to say that you've done Glastonbury and have that on your kind of, you know, your resume of, you know, stuff that you've done in your time on your bucket list as a, you know, personally as a DJ, like, you know, and as a producer, you know, say you've done Glastonbury, when you tell people that, you know, they're impressed by it. So, you know, that's a great thing to be involved with, and, you know, once again, I've got to big you up on that one, John, yeah?
All good, man. My pleasure. It was good to see you out there doing your thing, mate. You've smashed it as well. But anyway, what artists are really inspiring you at the moment?
Okay, so artists that are inspiring me, I would say, are people like Sully. I think he's really cool. I like his tracks. I think, you know, the drum programming is really good. I like the sounds that he's using. I like Harmony as well. Obviously Harmony's really smashing it at the moment, you know, consistent, got a real good 90s sound. J Magic, you know, back in the days to now, you know, listening to J Magic's music, you know, J Magic has been up there for a very long time. Dillinger is another one who, you know, I like all the 90s stuff by Dillinger, you know, Fallen Angels, you know, the metalhead stuff, you know, Dillinger's, you know, as far as I'm concerned, he's a wicked producer, you know, Ed Rush, DJ Trace, you know, those sort of guys, you know, Doc Scott, you know, that more kind of steppy metal stuff as well, you know, that real kind of, I don't know, and during the 90s as well, them guys, DJ Crystal, you know, Amons and his pads and that, just amazing, and, you know, they're massive influences on me, because I just like what they do, you know, technically, musically, you know, they create a certain style of music, which is drum and bass, but it's nice, you know, from that 90s vibe, but, you know, it's full of atmosphere and it's got depth to it, and it's kind of technical, you know, and I like using Amons and that as well, and I like using the kind of, just, you know, the stepper breaks and, you know, hot pants and all that as well, chopping them up, you know, I love all that, and those guys are really inspiring me. Yourself as well, once again, John, you know, over the longer than the last decade, mate, you've kind of, you know, you've brought me in on things and you've told me about stuff, you know, I've heard about this, and, you know, get involved in that, because I know you once said to me, you know, you're a junglist and that, and I am, but you kind of see it in my music, and, you know, and that's cool, and it's great that you see that, and, you know, and Blame as well, you know, Blame is making some really good stuff again at the moment, you know, I really rate him, so he's another big influence, you know, and I really dig that style, and I rate everyone who's sort of making that stuff. Tim Reaper as well is another one, you know, and it's great, but this music's kind of, is having a resurgence again, because, you know, as that Harmony interview where he says, you know, it had a very short shelf life back in the 90s. There's a lot of good music which didn't see the light of day, and even the genre, you know, music genres used to come and go quickly back then. Now they kind of sort of stagnate a little bit, and it's, you know, there's a lot of old stuff getting done, which is cool. You know, the kids like the old stuff as well. So yeah, that's really cool.
So basically then, Tone, it's all about the 160 thing at the moment for you, yeah? Artists like Tim Reaper, labels like Deep Jungle and all that.
Yeah, so as I was just saying, really, John, you know, the 160 stuff is where I'm at the moment. I feel really comfortable making the music. I enjoy making the music, and I've got like a new kind of, you know, zest for making the music again. You know, Tim Reaper's smashing it, Deep Jungle's smashing it, you know, and it's a really good, you know, great artists, great labels, and, you know, I'm just loving that sound because I feel at home making it. So yeah, it's good.
So what's your thoughts on the whole vinyl thing? You know, vinyl's made a massive comeback.
Well, I think, you know, once again, anything that sort of creates money for artists in the music industry and anything else is great. It's good that people are taking the time to basically put music back onto vinyl again. You know, vinyl's got longevity, you know, let's face it, it's not cheap these days as well. So for people to be out there spending their hard-earned cash on it, you know, that's great, and that's really cool, and it's good that people are collecting it again, because there's nothing like the smell of fresh vinyl, yeah? So I love vinyl shopping up in London, and getting those new bits, yeah? And I'm glad there's people out there now who you know, are still enthusiastic about that.
So you're also a music production lecturer, right? So I was just wondering, like, what kind of influenced you to get into that, and how has it affected you as a producer?
So the teaching, I basically work for a place called ACM in Guildford, the Academy of Contemporary Music. So I work as a production tutor, predominantly working with 16 to 18-year-olds on FE, which is further education. I've also done some HE stuff as well with the degree students and that. But I really love it because I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by musicians who have all had, a lot of the people I work with all had great careers. And the students, I'm working with 16-year-old kids who are coming through, they're listening to their new music, they've got fresh, they've got ideas. I work with drummers, I work with rappers, I work with singers. I'm doing a lot of live recording stuff myself now, so in the studio setting up, micing up stuff, teaching the kids how to do all that. I teach kids how to do sequencing and working with DAWs, work with lots of fantastic musicians. I work with one guy, Alex, got to big up Alex, who basically, he's like a music theory guru. So when you're hanging around with these people, when you're sitting in on lessons and that, you pick up so much stuff. So I feel that, understanding music theory, learning new production techniques, because I'm in studios, I work with other producers, nicking ideas off my students, I love it. It's great because it's a two-way thing. And like, if you'd asked me 10 years ago if you'd thought, would I, teach you, I'd have laughed at you, because there's no way I'd ever imagined doing this, and I'm lucky, but I'm privileged to get up every morning and go and do a job that I love, hanging out in studios, working with kids, teaching them how to make music. You don't really get much better than that, and I get so much job fulfillment out of it, and I see, all these young kids coming through, and I know that the music is in safe hands. I've got to send a big up to L-Dubs and to DJ Frantic as well. 16, 17, 18-year-old producers making jungle. Watch out for these guys, because they're doing some really good stuff at the moment, and it's very encouraging, and it's great to know that I've been an influence in their life as well. I go to sleep at night time with a glow, knowing that I've had a good day at work, and I've learned something and they've learned something, and it's great. It's great to do something what I love. Yeah.
That's amazing, Tone. Fair play to you, mate. To be honest, 10 years ago, I could never have seen you as a music teacher either, mate. But there you go. One last question. What are your musical goals and aspirations for the next couple of years?
Yeah, so just to keep doing what I'm doing, really. I love the teaching, keep working with the kids. I've got a couple of artists that I work with as well. So I sort of do some post-production stuff and some mixing on the side. So I do a bit of that, which is really cool. I only work with a couple of people because, I just ain't got the time really to do that. But I'm just sort of happy just, making this 160 jungle stuff, being in a good place musically again, learning new stuff, because you never stop learning doing this stuff. Keep learning, keep working, and just keep doing what I do, really. The main thing is just being happy and just making music that I enjoy making. And I was in the wilderness for a couple of years, not knowing what to make, and I was getting a little bit lost, and I just got into teaching, and now, you put me onto this 160 stuff, and, a few things gone at work, L-Dubs and Frantic encouraged me to start DJing again. A couple of my students at work, and they said get on the decks again, So, yeah, just to be happy, really, just to make music that I like, and, if a few people listen to it and a few people play it, that's cool. I'm happy with that, yeah. So I'd just like to say thanks a lot for having me up here, John. Yeah, it's been really nice, chatting to you, and thanks for all your support over the years, mate. Big up, yeah.
Pleasure's all mine, mate. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us. And big up yourself. People, Tony Vibe, aka RadioKillaZ, wicked producer, badman DJ, and keep it locked as we're going into the mix with the RadioKillaZ right now.
RadioKillaZ.
Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that little interview. First one I've done. I think I've done alright, didn't I? Big up to a man like Tony. Keep it locked, yeah, he's in the mix now for like Told him to do a 45-minute mix. I think it's a bit longer than that though. So he's probably going to take us up to the end of the show.
You listen to RadioKillaZ. Keep it locked.
So yeah, all the tunes in this mix are all Tony's tunes. Some of them are out, some of them aren't. There will be a track list on my website if you want to go and check it out later.
RadioKillaZ. Keep it locked.
Yes, all the tunes playing in the background. When we've done the interview, that was all Tony's tunes as well.
This I wanna fight the champion sound.
I told you they bang them out, or Tony bangs them out. He's been doing the 160 thing for I'm not sure how long now. I don't know, a year, maybe 6 months. He's made loads of tunes already.
This I wanna fight the.
I ring him up, he says, I've made 3 new tunes this week. I think it takes me like a month to make one.
This I wanna fight the. This I wanna fight the. This I wanna fight the.
Shout out to Gazbox.
Champion sound. This I wanna fight the. This I wanna fight the champion sound. Make everybody in the dance get down.
Don't forget you're in tune to the Eruption Radio. Keep it locked, yeah? I'm here till midday. Big shout to Steve from Tasties in the Dub Lounge. Easy, Steve. I know Steve. Big Steve, yeah? Steve Lawrence, isn't it? I haven't seen him for years. Tim Lawrence, the cricketer's brother, isn't it?
Jump up. This I wanna fight it. This I wanna fight it.
RadioKillaZ.
So yeah, RadioKillaZ did a release on Warehouse Wax recently. Just a digital one, but you can get it on Beatport. Check it out, it's called the Burner EP.
Yeah. Yeah. Time and time and time. Time and time and time. And I know you got it right, but there's not the place for time.
This tune, Time Again, we got this scheduled for a vinyl release. Hopefully, fingers crossed, yeah. Should be out soon on Warehouse Wax.
What about this one?
Go on, Tone.
What about this one? RadioKillaZ. RadioKillaZ.
Out to Trickster, out to Left Arm, out to the man like Mr. V. Oh, you guys are good. Shout out to the AC. Big up, mate. Sorry, I only just saw your message. Locked in the office. Oh, you got it blaring out the speakers, mate. Sending this one out to Mark Biggers. Out to the man like Rob Paris.
With what?
put it there. Yes, sir.
Just in case you've only just locked in.
Yes, sir.
This is the Vinyl Junkie Show on Eruption Radio.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Currently in tune to the guest mix from the man like RadioKillaZ.
Yes,
RadioKillaZ.
sir. You can put it there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's strange saying RadioKillaZ to me because I know there's only one of them.
Yes, sir.
It's like Omni Trio, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I always assumed there was three of them.
Yes, sir.
That's why it's called Omni Trio. But there's only one. I don't know why I assumed there was three of them because it was called because of Omni. It doesn't even mean three, does it? Oh well. So it says on the Mixcloud stream there's 2,100 people locked in. So if every one of you puts a shout in the shout box, that'd be amazing. There'd be 2,100 messages. Go! Let's see how many we get. Sending this one out to the man like Smithy. Out to the Johnny Verbal. Out to the man like Kickback and Bungee. Out to the man like Acid Ted. Out to the man like Billy. Ethel.
gun sound. Killer sound. Take a draw, hold it in, pass it round. Killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Killer sound. Give you more until your jaw hits the ground. Killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Give you more until your jaw hits the ground. Take a draw, hold it in, pass it round. It's murder on the dance floor by a killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Give you more until your jaw hits the ground. Take a draw, hold it in, pass it round. It's murder on the dance floor by a killer sound. Killer sound, killer sound. Killer sound. Killer sound, killer sound. Spreading around the city, got them thinking for blind. Sound that you hear in your ear could be deadly. Create an atmosphere with a nice little melody. Got the remedy to make your body move. We bring the energy so you can bust the groove. We're rocking out deep down underground. It's time to jump and shout when you hear the killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Give you more until your jaw hits the ground. Take a draw, hold it in, pass it round. It's murder on the dance floor by a killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Give you more until your jaw hits the ground. Take a draw, hold it in, pass it round. It's murder on the dance floor by a killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Killer sound. War, it's time to draw the big gun sound. Killer sound. Murder on the dance floor, killer sound.
All the root boys.
Shout out to Elation, all the Bridgewater crew. You're locked into the sounds of the RadioKillaZ. Guestmix. This is the Vinyl Junkie Show. Keep it locked, yeah. This is Eruption Radio.
All the road boys.
So, about 20 minutes left of the show. Don't go anywhere though. Justice up next. Don't forget, you can catch me here second and third Thursday of every month, 8, 10 till 12, not 8.
All the road boys.
Hope you're enjoying the little guest mix by the RadioKillaZ. Big up Tony Vibe. Smashing it, mate, smashing it. Playing all his own tunes as well.
Batman, hear the runaway. If it's running away. See the Batman, hear the runaway.
Sending this one out to Scotty. Out to Jim.
Batman, hear the runaway.
Easy guys. Out to the Chrissy boy, saying big show. Yeah, cheers, mate.
See the moon negative in the night, but they can't run away from the. Can't run away from the.
So this tune's called Running Away.
See the moon negative in the night, but they can't run away from the.
It's Warehouse Wax, this one.
Can't run away from the.
It's on the Burner EP.
See the moon negative in the night, but they can't run away. Can't run.
Grab it on Beatport.
See the moon negative in the night, but they can't run away.
right now you're listening to Eruption Radio.UK. Keep it locked, Zine.
Okay, so for the last 45 minutes, you've been entertained by the man like Tony Vibe, RadioKillaZ in the house. All his own music. Big up, Tone. Thanks for the mix, mate, and for the interview. Nice one, brother. Looks like I might have time for just one more tune after the mix finishes. This is the last one, by the way, of the RadioKillaZ mix. Keep it locked. This is Eruption Radio. Hold tight for Justice up next.
Hiding in the darkness. Cause we a pirate, radio station. Tell later I so we don't give a damn where you the papers. Radio station, hot pirate station, play this.
Okay, last one from me, guys.
And I run the place hot with excess amount of 45 on album tracks. Play them at
Top Cat, Pirate Radio, Fleck on the remix. See you in 3 weeks, yeah? Thanks for locking in, guys.
Don't like that. Try to pressurize you and war if you stop. Link with chance, spit up on the high rise. Black off on the Triton way off. So way off they come back away a pirate. Radio station. The later eye that we don't give a damn where you the papers. Radio station. Hot pirate station. Play this. We gonna pick up on no radio. Tune in the dial. Pirate station that you must find. 94.6, 92.9. Follow me so cat and me say one more time. 95.2 and 101.9. For the pen Genesis lightning and baseline. From a station to mention in such a short time. Take it from the one and know the wildcat and like a way of pirate. Radio station. Tell later eye that we don't give a damn where you the papers. Radio station. All pirate station. Hear this. But tell the lighter. And when we sit on the dung. Pirate station and we run the town. When we keep in a function the crowd gather round. Walk to see the face then we behind the sound. So tell later eye them to leave we alone. Community rate of theater so we own. Pirate station roll the ear sound. Hot pirate station. What do them say? So we a pirate radio station. Tell later eye that we don't give a damn where you the papers. Radio station. Hot pirate station. Play this. Stereo station coming and I run the place hot. With excess amount of 45 on album track. For the massive na the car. The youths on the block and the people na them yard. Just a cool and relax watch out. DTI say them don't like